Welcome back to Delivering More, folks. I'm your host, Ben Alcar, and we appreciate you tuning back in whenever you can, morning, afternoon, or evening. I have another perfect Meet the Team to bring to you folks today. I have Kat joining me in the building. Kat, what's going on?
Nothing much, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you? It was a busy day over on the other side of the office?
Pings from Slack have been insane today.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just been nonstop, back to back. It's been crazy.
Are we talking like easy cater pings, like internal pings, just everything?
Easy cater pings, they have been crazy. I think today I've answered at least 50, and yesterday I swear it was 75.
Yeesh.
It's been insane. They've just been up on us about ETAs and everything.
Okay, I was gonna ask like what most of them are about nowadays, because that's usually what it was when I was still over there, like ETAs, like just checking on deliveries, things like that. Is that what it still is?
Oh, definitely. ETAs, just making sure that the high priority orders are covered, making sure drivers are on time, making sure all the food's dropped off, all that good stuff, and it's just constant. for sure. I think we do a pretty good job about getting back to them pretty quickly, though, don't you? Oh, yes. I normally have my eyes on a ping within a second and normally have an answer back to them within 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Getting those eyes, that emoji on the pings. I don't miss having to do that. I for sure don't miss having to do that.
I do enjoy it to an extent. I like it more so because it puts my research skills to work.
Oh, yeah, you go like an investigator mode.
Oh, yes, I love investigating them.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, like figuring out where I have the picture, now I gotta figure out like where that food actually is.
Yeah, is it in a break room? Is it at the reception?
Yeah, right.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, we'll have to give some tips out on best picture practices. But I appreciate you sitting down with me here today so we could get to know a little bit more about you, myself, and our audience and our viewers and everything like that. So we'll start it out here pretty easy. Where I like to start with everyone is, where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Ravenna, Ohio, and then I grew up in Carrollton, Ohio. From first grade till 12th grade, I was there, and it was basically a McDonald's, a Wendy's, and a bajillion churches. It was a very, very Christian town to be in.
Is Ravenna's north of here, right?
Yes, Ravenna's up by Kent and Stowe.
Okay.
Yep. I was born up there, and I think I lived up there for about a year. Nice. And then moved to Kent, and then moved down here to Carrollton.
Yeah, Carrollton's a little closer to Canton, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on, if you want to speed down the back roads.
Yeah, I feel is Carrollton like a smaller town?
It used to be when I lived there, but it has grown exponentially. I actually went back there last weekend just to drive around and see all the stores and everything, see what's changed. They've got a whole new high school and middle school now.
Oh, wow.
They've got new restaurants, new gas stations. They've opened up fracking down there, so you got a lot of fracking workers and stuff like that. So it's just insane.
People come up on a real quick check with that fracking money. That's so funny. You just get reached out and they're like, yeah, you have thousands of gallons of oil beneath your land. You want money for it? Like, yeah, please. I'll gladly take it.
And they were happy to take it.
yeah, for sure. I would be too. No matter your stance on what climate, whatever. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna hand me the money, might as well. So you said it was a smaller town when you were there. What was your high school experience like? Was it like how many kids did you graduate with? I
think I graduated with 150 kids to 200.
Okay.
But my high school was pretty closed off. A lot of kids down there would be either farmers or they'd be wannabe city boys, and it just, the farmers were fun because they were authentic, and then the city boys, they're walking around in their crocodile shirts pretending they're not country boys at heart, and they know better.
Yeah, I thought Carrollton was like a farmy kind of land, but I didn't want to like just get that wrong, so I didn't say.
Oh no, we have a drive your tractor to school day down there. There are kids who would show up in full John Deere tractors to work fields, and they would just pull it out and park it in front of the school. Just chill as can be. I know kids who had, they would get off school particularly just to go to hunting season.
Hell yeah, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
I know D takes like a week off just to go hunting out once that starts.
It's a big deal down there.
Yeah, I believe it. What was your first job in Carrollton, like at one of those little small fast food places you talked about, or what was your first job like?
My first ever job was at Wendy's down there. Most of my family was working there at the time, so it was super easy to get in. And it was just basically working cashier, dealing with cranky customers, and customer service at its finest, right there at the raw point of it.
Yeah. What were spicy nugs around back there when you worked at that Wendy's?
I don't think we had spicy nugs yet, but I know that store particularly was experimenting with the root beer float frosty thing at that time.
I don't think I've ever had the root beer float frosty, but that sounds pretty damn good.
I think I was working there right when the Baconator came out.
I used to, when we were in high school, I used to be able to eat a Baconator so fast, and now I don't even know if I could eat half of it.
I know, right? Just age, it's killing us.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. What was that your only job throughout high school?
Yes, it was. When I eventually graduated, I moved all the way to the middle of the state, and I lived there for about 10 years. But I haven't. This is probably the third job I've had since moving back to Canton. But when I lived in Carrollton, I only had the one at Wendy's.
Middle of this? Are we talking like Columbus, middle of the state? What's the middle of the state?
I was 25 minutes above, 25 to 30. I lived in Crestline. It's like 5 to 10 minutes from Mansfield.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm
tinier
pretty
town
with
than Carrollton.
Mansfield. I did some work out there before. Okay. Yeah. What are you after high school? Were you a college gal? What'd you do after high school?
After high school, I didn't go to college. I wanted to go for floriculture to the Ohio State University in Worcester, but I just never got around to it. I ended up getting married and having 2 kids and then getting a divorce. So it's been a whirlwind. But yeah, I did that all within the 10 years. But I did run a food pantry while I lived in Crestline.
A food pantry?
Yes, I ran a food pantry for 4 years.
What is that? What does that entail? That's like, I don't want to say like charity, but like, is that a good word to describe it?
Yeah, it's basically like charity, helping out with the community. Twice a week, we'd provide food for the community. They'd come, they'd pick it up, and they'd get a specific amount of things in their box for that day. And then if they needed anything extra or whatever, they could let us know. We would have bread there sometimes, fresh fruits. It just depended on what we got in on the truck.
Cool. So you said, you moved down to Columbus. That was like a couple years then, and then you come back to Canton, or how long was that?
I was in Crestline for 10 years, and then I moved back to Canton when I was getting my divorce. And I just wanted a fresh start with my kids. And when I moved up here, it was just nice because it's a bigger city. There's a lot more opportunity, and I was around places that I was familiar with and more comfortable.
Right. And then, so did you move back? Is your whole, like, not your whole family, but do you have a lot of family in the area?
Most of my family does live in this area between Canton and Greene. I speak more with my dad's side of the family who's up in Greene, so I rely on them a lot, talk to them a lot. Unfortunately, I'm not really talkative with my mom, but that's a whole story for a whole new day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's meet the team behind the scenes.
Exactly. Sometimes drama edition.
Yeah, those things get a little messier. I can definitely understand that. Well, since we don't have a college to navigate or anything like that, you mentioned the food pantry. Mm-hmm. What is the timeline to when you move back to Canton to when you then first are either applying for new jobs or when you hear about DeliverThat?
When I first moved back to Canton in 2019, the first job I went and got was at Shear's Potato Chip Factory.
Yeah, I applied to Shear's at one point in time. Yeah, I worked at Nichols down in Navarre for a while.
I was there for 2 days. I could not hack it. But that 2 days got me $300. So, I mean, win-win.
It'll hold you over.
Yeah. And then after that, I went and applied at VXI downtown. I worked for them until COVID hit. And then I was at home for about 6 to 7 months and then applied for VXI again just so I could get a job under my belt.
What?
Under my belt. But yeah, so I worked in customer service at VXI with the win-back program, which was for DirecTV, getting customers back to a service they didn't want anymore.
Yeah.
And then Motive Care, which was arranging transportation for patients to get to their doctor's appointments.
Okay.
And then after that, I worked at SARTA for about 6 months.
SARTA, like the busing company.
Yep.
Nice. I've only been on, Nate will like this. Nate, you remember the Go Bus down at OU? I don't know if that's like a SARTA product, but I took the Go Bus from Canton down to Athens, and then I also took it from Athens to Cincy one time to visit some buddies for the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the only time I've been on a SARTA bus, though, twice.
Yeah, it was a fun experience to work for SARTA. I really did enjoy it, except for the hours. I'd work 12-hour shifts, and I had like 1 day off a week.
Yeah. I do not. I appreciate like nurses and everyone who like does that kind of stuff, but like those like any field where you have like the 12-hour shifts or like where you're on like 5 days and you like, have like 2 hours off and then you're like off for 3 days or whatever it's after. It's like I'm not jealous of that. I'd rather come in Monday to Friday and
be done.
Yeah, and then see. Yeah, then I'm out for the weekend.
Yeah, definitely would have been nice.
Yeah. Okay, so then what? So then were we quitting SARTA and then we applied to DeliverThat, or how's that whole process
I got fired from SARTA, actually.
Oh yeah, hey, that'll happen.
I ran the bus into an awning, the corner.
Wait, you were driving the buses?
I was driving it, yes. I was on the bus with two passengers, and I ran the bus into an awning at Quonset Hut on Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I busted out
right
2
across
windows.
From the BP.
Yeah, I busted out 2 windows on the bus, and they're just like, oh, well, this is kind of reckless, so we're going to have to let you go. I'm just like, bet, okay.
Oh, my God.
And then I just, I found DT on Indeed and applied, and I was just like, well, I mean, I didn't want to get back in customer service, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah,
got to make money.
You couldn't apply to be a driver,
no.
too, I bet. So like it was either you go internal because you can't be a driver.
Yeah, it was customer service or fast food, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Mm-mm.
That's crazy. So, man, I don't. Jim, can you pull up my Google Sheets real quick?
Yeah.
And type in anniversaries, or if you scroll down a little bit, there should be one called employee anniversaries.
Roster sheets.
Sheets.
You're looking for cats, I would assume.
Yep. You just had like your year, right?
Mm-hmm. In
March 25th.
Yeah. Okay. So March 25th. So we're what? 3 weeks, 4 weeks off your year anniversary to DeliverThat. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. We appreciate you joining the team. I think, who all was here when you joined? Like I only asked that because the team is growing. It feels like every week it's like there's always new faces. And when we talked to, I'm trying to think who we've even done so far. So we just talked to, I think, Lissa a couple weeks ago, and like when she came on, it was like just her and Vic, and then like Justin was hired a couple weeks later. So like who was here when you were brought on, and then we can maybe go from there.
For the CSR department, it was Vic, Lissa, and Justin. Me and Lisa were hired a week after Justin was.
Okay, so that lines up. Yeah, we're about to do Lisa, I think, next week too. So that'll be kind of right in line. So you guys are like the beginning of our CSR wing, actually like taking the calls, making the calls, handling the problems in real time. Were things like, did they feel chaotic when you got like brought on, or was the learning curve like steep, or was it easy? Did you feel like?
When me and Lisa first started, we actually were in the training classroom for a day before we were put out on the phones and said, here, best way to learn is figure it out.
Yeah, hey, that's typical DeliverThat fashion.
John Zinno was with us for that week because Vic was away for a conference or something.
That makes even more sense.
So John just threw us on the computer and he's like, here you go, learn. I'm just like, okay. First week and a half, I was having panic attacks. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to mess this up. But eventually it started progressing and getting a lot easier. And by month 6, I was pretty well tuned with what was going on.
Yeah, I feel like I know, like for me, it's like I was in the dispatch department for like 4 years. So like by the end of it, I felt like things got kind of monotonous for like what I was doing every day in, day out. But it's also an aspect of it where like every call or like every driver can be like such a different experience that it's like almost like brings you back sometimes. Like you can have like a super good conversation with a driver where you like feel like reinvigorated throughout the day. You're like, oh shit, like that was sick. Like I really just helped them. They were super appreciative. Like that was such a good back and forth. Or you can have like sometimes a negative call where you're just like, you need to like take a smoke break. It's like, dang, that sucked.
Yeah, I get those a lot too. I think right now, because I'm not on the phones that often, I don't get to talk to the drivers as much. But when I do get on there and I speak with them, it's always nice to be able to hear their voices again. I especially like talking to like Joy Olcott.
Yeah.
I like talking to William Bauer. He's really a big sweetheart. But then like you'll get another conversation with a driver who totally left all the food at the restaurant except for one bag. One bag. This is a real situation. Driver left all the food at the restaurant except for one bag, delivered the one bag and said, I'm done. And just completed out the order. we had to send they had to send people back there to go get the food for for the customer. I felt so bad for that customer, but that driver just frustrated me because he's like, dude, nobody's gonna have one bag for a $500 order. I promise
like
you
you
that.
just gotta be more aware sometimes.
Definitely.
That can definitely be tough. What man, I'm trying to think of some CSR type questions. What would you say is the most frequent thing you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
ETA and trying to find out where the driver is in regards to when the food's going to get picked up, and then just communicating that information with everybody who needs to be involved.
For sure. What do you think, what could drivers do that would be beneficial to you to make getting their ETAs easier? Is it just marking the app? Is it being more communicative through text, or like, are there things that you think would make it easier?
Honestly, we're doing everything we can at this point just to make sure that we have everything. I know we're always texting them if we're losing out on ETA, but I think the drivers themselves probably just keeping up with the steps, and if they're having any delays, reaching out to us.
For sure.
Because that helps us 100%. We can get so many things done quicker if we just had the communication that we need.
Yeah, just like being like proactive about it.
Exactly.
I think is always like the better side of things, right?
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. What man, I'm trying to think, like, you got Vic out there now. I mean, you have what, like, I mean, I feel like CSR, do you guys have more than 10 people out there now?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, I think we do have at least 10 people, especially
I'm, like,
when Ren
run
gets
through
back
my
here.
names who are like over. You got like Lissa, T, Gia, you, Lisa, Vic,
Martha and Heather.
Heather, yeah, Ren.
Ren.
So I mean
Zyra.
that's 9 right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Zyra. Yeah. So I mean that would be a 10 spot easy. So I mean that's wild. So just a year ago it was 4 people, and now we're double digits. So it's crazy growth. It's unbelievable to see how department like develops like that. What are you jealous of like the I don't necessarily know if Gia and Martha had it, but like I know some of the dispatchers, they had like the 2-week like training, like that Vic held for them, and like Leighton. Are you jealous that like they got that and you guys didn't?
I'm not so much jealous as when they come on the floor, they'll be like, oh, well, how long were you guys in training for? But like, dude, we were out here day 2. We already had our Vietnam experience. We're good.
Yeah.
But I don't get jealous of them having more training. It actually is more beneficial because when they get out on the floor, they know a lot of what's already going on. So it saves time for me and Lisa to have to get up and
like explain things
that, they've already been taught. So I know with me, I walk around, I help me, subject matter expert. I help the trainees when they come out on the floor get more accustomed to being on the phone, texting, stuff like that. So when a new training class comes out, I'm up out of my seat just running around helping them whenever they need it.
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, it's always beneficial. Yeah, them coming on the floor and like understanding the software we use a little bit better, understanding like what a scenario that actually is going to happen a little bit better. Like I know they're like simulating live calls and the training and things like that, so they're not like, I don't know, like I remember like when I first started here, even like in other jobs, like you're so nervous like that first call.
Oh,
You're
yes.
just like, you like, whether you have a script or not, or like you're just like praying that like they don't throw a curveball. So you're like, all right, I got question A, B, C, D, I'm off the phone. And then like you're just like, man, if they throw a wrench in any of this, I'm done. I'm gonna have a meltdown.
That's definitely for sure. I know a lot of them. They don't have too much problem with easy cater orders. It's the direct partner orders that we get a lot of issues with the new people on.
What is that? Just like how to get tips, like how to get the information, or what is that usually?
Just communication wise. A lot of the new people aren't used to having like call the restaurant, speak with a catering. What's the word?
Like
manager.
Catering manager, yeah.
Yes, at a restaurant. So when they get to a direct partner order and the driver's just like, oh, well, I need this, this, and this, the agent is kind of, a little hazy. They're like, okay, what do I do? Do I talk to Phil? Do I talk to Cody? Do I handle this myself? And it just becomes kind of like a rolling snowball of anxiety for them. But eventually, with a little bit of guidance, they get it pretty quickly. So I'm hoping that by the time Heather and Martha are done training, they will be experts on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is something that is kind of interesting when you have to like be able to gauge like, do I escalate this, or can I actually just take care of this myself? I think that
Exactly.
actually is something that kind of can be tough to navigate in real time, especially because like
Mm-hmm.
you never know if is this delivery like we have that Honey Grow Slack channel. So like, was this a delivery that they pinged that they said was super important? I don't know if that, I don't think that information is like in Zendesk. So like
No.
you don't know, you just think it's another delivery where like, this could be a huge thing for this brand, and if it goes left, like you don't even know, and
Exactly.
you just
yes.
handled it like any other delivery when Cody would have wanted to know like immediately, and you're like, oh well.
Yep,
I
and
might
that's
screw that
something
one up.
we have to make sure is communicated to the newer agents, and so they are able to handle that professionally and properly.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Getting a little worn out.
No, just a little bit frazzled. I'm good.
No, we can. I mean, I appreciate your time. I think we can close it out. Jim, what are we at? Like 15, 20?
Just 21.
21, perfect. All right. Yeah, no, we can close it out. We'll skip right along to this or that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask a couple questions and we'll delve into your answers if needed.
All right, perfect.
So starting out, early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
How late? Like, are we talking weekday late nights or weekend? We're a weekend warrior late nights.
Weekends I can stay up until 4. Weekdays, if I want to, I can stay up till 2.
And you're still in here at like 7:30?
Right now I'm on a 9 to 5.
Okay.
Just to help out with the trainees.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's not that bad. As bad then.
No,
for
not
2 a.m.
terrible.
Okay. That's doable, I guess we could say. What about, would you rather be hot or cold?
Cold. I can't handle heat. Makes me sick.
So are you like Aaron mentioned this during his Meet the Team or one of the sit downs we had with him? Like you walk in his house and it's like a freezer. Like it's like he's got the AC on at 60 degrees, like as low as it can possibly get. Like are you that kind of person? Like AC, like with the second it hits like 65 outside, we're like cranking the AC.
No, I can normally handle it up until about 69, 70 degrees. Then once it hits that peak and the humidity sets in, then I got to turn on the air conditioner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's not too extensive then. What about dogs or cats?
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats, which is ironic.
Why is that ironic?
Because my name's Cat.
Oh yeah, duh. I was like, what? I was like, what are we talking about? Okay, yeah. I guess I didn't even think that. Is your first name just Cat? Or
No, it's Katricia.
Katricia. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew that. I was gonna guess that, but I just didn't want to get it wrong. Katricia. Okay. And then what we got? So we got dogs or cats. Oh, okay. Books or movies?
Books. I have 2 bookshelves completely filled, overflowing with books.
What's your favorite like type of book?
Fantasy. I
Fantasy?
enjoy anything to do with any type of magic or Harry Potter-ish type things, kingdoms, faraway places, that type of thing.
What's your favorite fantasy book of all time?
I would probably have to say the Vampire Academy series, just because it's very well written and it has a nice spin-off called the Bloodline series.
Okay. For some reason I was going to ask if that was that new Netflix show they made, but that's the Umbrella Academy. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't. But they did make a Vampire Academy
Oh,
show
really?
on Peacock, but it's not close to the books.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
refuse to watch.
Yeah, that's what Dan said during his Meet the Teams too. He's a book guy because the books are always like so much more detailed.
Yes, definitely. Definitely more detailed.
Yeah, I can understand that. What about, I'm not going to let you gloss over this. What is your favorite Harry Potter book?
The 4th one, Goblet of Fire.
Is that your favorite Harry Potter movie?
No, I can't stand the movie.
No.
My favorite Harry Potter movie is probably the 7th one.
Part 1 and 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I can get on board with that. Okay. That's easy enough. We'll close it out here. Would you prefer staying in or going out to eat?
For food, I'll go
Yeah.
out.
What's your favorite destination?
I enjoy Texas Roadhouse, mostly just because for the cactus blossoms. I think those
I
are
was going
delicious.
to say for the rolls. I thought that was
The rolls,
that
yes.
was a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, I will actually go to Texas Roadhouse sometimes and just order a dozen rolls. It's like $6, and they give you a big old tub of honey butter. So I'm just set for the night. I'm happy.
Are you a steak girl?
Yes, I love steak. I love steak and
Nice.
shrimp.
Oh boy, now we're talking. Little surf and turf. Yeah, that is.
Exactly.
I love steak. I love shrimp too. That's big time. What about like your favorite fast food place?
Popeyes.
Popeyes. It's like nearest Popeyes in like Akron?
Yeah, it's in Akron, and there's always a line wrapped around the
Yeah.
building. And then you regret it after you eat it, but it's so good while you're eating it.
Yeah, I've only had Popeyes a handful of times, like maybe even less, like 2 or 3, I'd say. But I like it because it's a little crispier.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little crispier.
Crispier, and it has a more buttery flavor to it that I enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I can get down with that. All right. Well, Kat, I think this was beneficial for me. I like getting your viewpoints on what's going on your side of the floor. So that was always helpful. And then finding out more about you, how you got to deliver that is always a fun journey to navigate. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Congrats on the 1-year anniversary.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we have many more to come.
Oh, I hope so.
We'll see everyone very soon. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ben. Thank you.